Beebe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I want to add my thanks to you for coming. It's important for all of us. I want to kind of tag team on to what Governor Beshear said about the fact that flexibility is so important, but I want to go one step in a little bit different direction. Before I do that, I want to brag on our state a little bit. We have recently been ranked 10th in the nation overall education. And from where Arkansas was not that many years ago, that's an astounding feat. And that's overall ranking. That's not merely policy. That's not merely accountability. It's not merely resources. That's performance. That's scores, and that's the national ranking. It's not something we came up with. We're not first. I don't know where Vermont is, but it's nice to be in the top 10, even if you're 10th. So having said that, let me tell you that we are so committed and have been committed. It's not just something brand new, but we have been committed to the point that roughly 70 cents out of every one of our general revenue tax dollars goes to some form of education. And we look at it, as you do, I'm sure, as a continuum from pre-K to the end of life. It's workforce training and retraining. It's 2-year colleges and 4-year colleges and adult education and everything in between. And obviously the constitutional backbone of it is K through 12. But all of these things have to work together. Now, having said all that, much like Kentucky, some of the things that we've done have far exceeded what was pronounced from the national level. And we would not want to be hamstrung in any way and in effect, forbidden from continuing to reach for the sky because of some standardized approach that tries to bring some other folks up. On the flexibility issue, we've got governors and states around here, through no fault of their own, are having a horrendous time. Their people are hurting. They've lost countless jobs. Right next to you, Governor Granholm has... Well, but it's not Governor Granholm's fault, and it predated Governor Granholm long before. It's a function of that economy, and it's not just that. You mean, look at California. They're releasing tens of thousands of prisoners. I mean, different states have different problems, and I would not begrudge one dime that you want to put out there for maintaining effort for K through 12, avoiding the increase in class sizes, keeping those teachers hired, and augmenting and supplementing the budgets of these schools for what I think is the most important state obligation, which is public education. I wouldn't begrudge one dime of that for these operations. They need it. Having said that, we didn't cut education. And I was really afraid when the initial round of federal stimulus money was being discussed in the Congress that those states who had not suffered as bad and who had prioritized education, even sometimes to the expense of other parts of our budget, would be left behind. And I thought that would send the wrong message, because what the message that would be sending would be if you're either fortunate enough or prioritized enough or combinations thereof not to have any cuts in education, you should not be left out of the amounts of distribution of monies that would be appropriate, because we still have other needs. We have capital needs. And it's been my desire, and I know other governors would feel this way if they could, that to the extent possible, spend one-time money for one-time projects. So that you're not into the problem of when this stimulus money runs out, what are you going to do to keep these operations going? So as you go forward with a new pot of money, as you initially described, that will help alleviate some of the reductions in our public schools that will be occasioned by the expiration of initial stimulus money and or the continued horrendous economic downturn that some of our states face, I hope that you will not forget those states who perhaps have not reduced or do not risk suffering a reduction in personnel in our public schools, because we could do some other things, maybe with lab equipment and with facilities and with all sorts of capital projects that would inure to the benefit of our students. And I think the word flexibility would be applicable to this silo that you're talking about.
No, I couldn't agree more. And again, to be clear, if that opportunity is going to present itself, it's going to take leadership from this body collectively in a bipartisan way. If it happens, we'd do it so that you would have flexibility. We'd do it across the board as we did in the first go round. But this thing is far from a done deal.
Governor Richardson. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, I too applaud your innovation and your vigor in new educational policy for the country. But I want to echo what Governor Ritter said. You know, we've had No Child Left Behind ever since I became governor. By the way, this is my last year, so I'm going to be a little more candid than I usually am.
You're usually a shrinking violet. So.
Right. No Child Left Behind, it's given us a lot of problems. It's given me a lot of problems. I come from a state that is our large percentage of our kids are disadvantaged, minorities, large percentage of special ed. By the way, thank you for the Title I and special ed money that has come in from the stimulus. Thank you. That has helped us enormously.
We have another. That was about $22 billion. We have about half that, $11 billion left for this next school year.
So we appreciate that. My point here is that Governor Ritter talked about how we're the implementers of education, but when No Child Left Behind came in, these were mandates, and we would try to go to the Congress and try to correct some of these, what we felt were unfair mandates, even though the No Child Left Behind had some very good elements. For instance, with us, lower performing school standards. How do you bring lower performing schools back? My point here is the Congress would not listen to us. The House and Senate, no, this is the way we're going to do it. And my concern is, as we reauthorize the No Child Left Behind Act in the future, and I know that their hearings are starting, I would urge you as an administration to come out with a proposal of your own, an Obama administration proposal that deals with some of the good points you've made. I applaud you for the new policy on charter schools. That's helped us a lot, helped me a lot, because I believe in them. Tying teacher performance to student data. That's good. How do we have a new policy towards lower performing schools? Tying data to instruction, new standards, new assessments. That's good. But my hope is that you don't just let the Congress look at No Child Left Behind with some proposals of your own. And that's been, I guess, a little bit of a criticism on the health care debate. Although I support the president's health care initiative, I think we let the Congress, and I served in Congress, so I'm not trying to take sides, but I am taking sides. I'd like the administration to have a series of proposals that address some of these concerns that we've had, not let the Congress just redraft them again. So it's more of a process issue, and I think that at the same time, give states the flexibility to implement some of these standards. I think that treating disadvantaged students, children with disabilities, many of us, I spend a lot of every day on educational policy, and we brought in New Mexico preschool and full-day kindergarten, early childhood education, something that other states had already done. But I just hope that this No Child Left Behind reauthorization is not just a congressional exercise, and that whatever you can do to give to make sure the input of governors is brought in is critically important. Otherwise, we're just going to have another No Child Left Behind. I remember with contempt some former friends of mine, well, they're good friends, in the Congress when I'd say, look, it's not working. You're making me list schools that are not doing well. We're humiliating those schools. It's not good on our Indian reservations. Help us find ways to promote accountability in a more dignified way with real data and standards, not just, okay, you're not doing well, so you're getting nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
I absolutely do. So 2 points. Your voice, the collective voice of the governors, is hugely important to us. I've met with many of you individually and visited your states. We've done a series of conference calls. We're going to continue to do that, and we'll continue to work with the NGA. And again, me, Carmel, the rest of our team are available anytime to sort of talk through where we're going.